What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Top 10 Nerd. Over time, we've seen Batman reach incredible heights and take down our big bads, and usually it's a pretty awesome time. Some issues of the Caped Crusader are just too weird to ignore. So, here to break down some of our favorites, I'm Taylor McWaters, and here are the top 10 weirdest Batman comic stories. Kicking off the list at number 10, Sad Space Worms. World's Finest Comics issue 289. We see Batman and Superman as they decide to catch up on some bro time. You know, take a break from beating dudes up all day, just talk it out. I mean, the dialogue itself is really great stuff. It highlights the mental health struggles superheroes go through, not being able to save everybody. It's meaningful, it's powerful dialogue. It's just Superman and Batman talking alone in the Fortress of Solitude. But what takes this issue to new heights, well, rather to new lows, is when Superman and Batman are interrupted by a meteorite crashing, and out of the meteorite emerges the crew. The crew being depressed space worms. Yep, they're attracted to sadness. That's actually how they found the two in the first place, because their super depression was just glowing. So these aliens need emotion to die. I mean, why didn't you guys just say so? I got the Titanic, I got Notebook on DVD, let's go. You guys will be gone in seconds, no problem. And before we move on, guys, make sure if you haven't already, just toss us a quick thumbs up because it goes a long way here at our Fortress of Solitude. Thank you so much. Thanks. And number 9, we have Cat Fur Woman. Selena Kyle looked a bit different from the start, to say the least. We've seen numerous actors play the iconic Jewel Thief, with Zoe Kravitz playing her in the upcoming Robert Pattinson Batman. It's only fair to look back at her not so neat outfits. Well, in the first issue she appeared in, that being Batman 1 back in the 1940s, she was actually referred to as the Cat, rightfully so. Now, at this time her outfit looked a touch different. In Batman 3, she came out in this red cape, yellow dress, and fur mask. It looked weird. To think of the character as we know her now, and then to see her in this outfit, it kind of reminds me of in Harry Potter when Snape looks like Neville's grandmother. It wasn't until 1946 until her mask was changed to a more fitting look. Still not quite what we're used to, but definitely a step in the right direction. And then of course in the 50s she was deemed more of a sidekick to Batman rather than a villain, sporting a much cooler, less hairier look. And number 8, the unstoppable Riddler. Usually when Batman punches you in the face, it kinda hurts. But if we look back at Edward Nygma in the Silver Age of comics, specifically in Batman 171, the Riddler is setting booby traps left, right, and center, but when it comes down to the Batman making contact with the skin, he laughs. Is this a Joker or Riddler? What's going on here? Well, it turns out if you get some local anesthetic, punches to the face don't feel as bad. You don't say. Even on the cover of this issue, Batman and Robin are both surprised. What's keeping the Riddler up? He takes our hardest knockout blows and bounces right back. But how? And number 7, Batman the Witch. Released in 1969, issue 186 of the World's Finest, we find Batman in quite the pickle. So, Superman and Batman at this point have traveled back in time to solve a mystery. Classic good old time travel fun. Wonder where the comics will take us today. So, they go back in time, and during their mission, they rescue a lady named Sylvia Ward. Now, Sylvia was actually accused of witchcraft. Yeah, they went way back. So Superman and Batman save her, and then she thanks Batman by kissing him. Ah, super emotional, very nice. Right on the lips. Intimate, cool. And then Superman goes in to introduce himself, and Batman interrupts and takes her to the local bar. Okay, so Superman decides to use this era in his favor. So he dresses up as Batman, starts doing all this wacky stuff, doing all this witchcraft stuff. So much so that the town deems Batman a witch. He's about to be burned at the stake, and then a thunderstorm rolls in. Everybody leaves except for, Ben Franklin, who was just hanging out, doing tests and stuff. He's just there. That's fine. Just playing with kites, checking out lightning, doing his Ben Franklin stuff. He actually tries to free Batman with one of his experiments, but Superman doesn't let that happen. He stops the electrical current from reaching him with his Superman hands. Even Ben Franklin's like, alright, I'm ahead up. So when Batman asks Superman why he's doing this, Superman says, figure it out yourself. Damn. So next time your friends start flirting with your crush, just, tell everybody in town that they're a witch. They'll handle them. Works every time. And number 6, the rainbow costume. Sometimes it's tough picking an outfit for the night. Maybe you wore something similar right before. The whole thing is just stressful sometimes. And yes, that includes superheroes. In 1937, issue 241 of Detective Comics, we find Batman on the cover with quite the dilemma. He changes up the colors of his costume a lot in here, but why? Well, this has to do with the Comics Code Authority. So in order to appeal to the public eye that comics weren't just dark and gritty, So this issue about Robin hurting his arm arm, also happen to have Batman sporting some fun new colorful suits, eventually just putting them all together and rocking the infamous rainbow suit, which is sick. He's like, what do you think about red? No? What do you think about green? Huh? Is stay green? I don't know. It's pretty neat to see on the page, but unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna get any crazy colorful suits on the big screen anytime soon. And number 5. Whale problems. So imagine you're Bruce Wayne, right? You're on a massive yacht, blasting some Dixie chicks. You're living it up, you're having a great time. Maybe you're showing off your fancy $6 million necklace. And then out of nowhere, a whale woman just blasts in and grabs it from you. We find this scenario in Batman 579. Bruce Wayne is, well, of course, shocked. He's like, excuse me, Miss Whale, can you return this gem to me? That would be great. Awesome, thanks so plenty. Now, of course, the whale doesn't cooperate, so Bruce heads to Gotham Aquarium to ask some questions. He meets Grace, a woman bound to a wheelchair who works at the aquarium. She gives the whole rundown on the orcas, how they fight other whales 3 times the size of themselves, and how she's working on a research project with orcas. But the funding ain't going so well. So of course you probably just figured out what's happening. She spends her time robbing from the rich, and instead of keeping the wealth for herself, she just donates it to charities. What a sweetheart. Not a bad gig at all. She ends up becoming an orca forever. God, that would suck. But don't worry, it doesn't last too long. Because in Detective Comics 819, she's killed by the great white shark. And number 4, the Bat Baby. Issue 147 of Batman has one of the funniest pages on a comic book title page. So we have Robin, just regular old Robin, and a baby sporting the mask and the cowl. And the businessman on the cover says, look out, it's Batman and Robin. Like, he even stutters too. He's like, it's Batman, I think. That's definitely Robin, but is it the baby? The Batman baby? And the weirdest part, he still has all the abilities of a full-grown Batman. So it turns out Nails Finney brought them into a trap, and now Batman has shrunk down to the size of a child. So the headlines were amazing in the news that week. Gangland turns Batman into baby. And the photo is just Batman just like, all moody, like at least smile or like put a thumbs up, throw a batarang, a little baby batarang. Robin at one point even has to carry him to the Batmobile. So what does Batman do? He embraces it, of course. He's like, fine, I'll dress like a baby, I'll become Bat Baby, I'll kick your ass. He does well though, or sorry, he does okay, rather, yeah. One of the headlines that you see next reads, Bat Baby does okay for a kid. Yeah, he's okay. He just rode a balloon up into the air and then fought 3 crooks as a baby, but you know, he did okay, guys. It was okay. Don't get that too high, he's fine. Yeah, he had to ride a balloon up because his legs were too small. I don't think we'll ever get this comic on the big screen, but you know what? I'll do it. If I get money, I'll do it myself. I'll hire my cousin, he's like 4, let's do it. And number 3, Zebra Man. We talked a bit about costume changes earlier, but that's not the end of it. Whenever a popular character changes their outfits, fans aren't usually fond of the change. It's not bad, it's just different, you know? So in Detective Comics 275, we meet the villain Zebra Man, who obtained his powers by discovering the lines of force. And no, I don't mean the same lines of force as Snowflame. I mean these lines of force, yeah. So Batman becomes this after Robin accidentally shot this ray at him. Now, nobody can go near him or else the new force field zebra power will blast them back. He actually gets pretty sad about it too. Now, of course, things go back to normal, but the whole Batman zebra power idea, it's a little too weird for some, and I don't blame them. And number 2, MITE. Of course, I have to include the 1937 Detective Comics issue 267 because we meet MITE. Right from the start, the opening line of this dude is just ridiculous. He's like, hey, I'm not an elf. I come from another dimension to help you fight. Won't that be fun? Huh? This wasn't really loved by the readers, I mean, of course. So in 1985, after Crisis on Infinite Earths, there wasn't really a rush to bring MITE back. And lastly on our list, we have Bear vs. Bat. Yeah, you heard me. This was issue 285 of Batman, and I mean, just look at the front page illustration. How do you not want to see how this ends? Well, this is quite the holly jolly issue, as it takes place, of course, during the annual Gotham tree lighting ceremony. And after Batman hears on the police radio that the tree is in flames, he rushes over to investigate, and then this is where he discovers a bear is actually living in this tree. Nice. Now, of course, it's a Batman villain version of a bear. It's not Winnie the Pooh, you know, it's kind of scary. So now Animal Control comes in and safely removes said bear so that everyone can just enjoy the night and be happy and move on. No, that didn't happen at all. Batman actually comes in and decides, you know what, I'm just gonna kick this thing in the neck a few times, see what happens. I mean, I love animals personally, but if an evil bear threw hands with Bruce Wayne, I'm sorry, I gotta take my phone out, we're filming. I'll do it this way, not even this way. I'll give it some respect, you know? The sideways filming. Well, Well, that's all for today's list, guys. Thank you so much for nerding out with us. Let us know in the comments down below which of these wacky Batman issues were your favorites. Until next time, I'm Taylor McWaters. See ya.